guide them how to be more connected to their community. But it's going to be really hard to get hold of accountable.
Okay, so I'll start off by saying that it's actually supposed to be the reverse. The council is the one that holds all the power and should be holding me accountable in my job. But in order to get them more engaged, like I understand what students are saying, they probably don't see their counselors as much as they think they should. So I would take time out of my day to help set up events for them, help them plan things around the campus, because at the end of the day, like Hamad said, they are volunteers and it's a lot of time out of their days already. So I would take time out of my time because I'm paid to help them do what they need to do.
So I agree with Justin. The counselor role is to hold the executive to account, but counselors themselves are the most active people on campus within the student body. They are the volunteers to drive the student union. They are the volunteers at different events. They help put on events. They sit on committees. But there needs to be, the people that run for council usually are engaged, and I believe that the people that we will have run for council will have help from our executive in different events and different organizations to be able to be more involved in campus and be able to be approached by random students to be like, oh, you're my arts rep, okay, well, I have this to ask about the student union, can you help me? That's what I'll do. Thanks.
Alright, this question here was directed to Hamad, but I can ask it to everyone because you're all saying you very much want to be involved, you're always going to be on campus kind of thing. So how do you plan on balancing that heavy workload that comes with being, it says an engineering student, but with being a student and the busy schedule of the SU president? So how do you want to find that work school balance basically? So we'll go Sam, Hamad, Justin.
So currently I'm a full-time student, and obviously I have been the last 3 years. I also work 60 hours a week, and I am involved with many things off campus and on campus, committee-wise with the student union, different events that I'll help put on throughout the province and help over our way. I've volunteered with Forum for Young Canadians, I've been involved with the Liberal Party, I've been different policy committees throughout Canada really, and I believe that the workload, obviously I won't be working if I'm getting elected president. This is going to be my full-time job, but I'll be able to handle the workload in short order.
Thank you for the question, first of all. It's a really good question. I already make time out of my negative 10 hours of life to do all the volunteer stuff and help all these students out. And how do I plan to do it in the future if I get elected as president? This was one of the things which was stopping me from being the president. I spoke to Nathan, a few international advisors, and my engineering advisors to allow me to do this, and they have agreed for me to take 3 courses and take time off for all the commitments I get as the president. So the engineering department has been really nice, and they've allowed me to take time off my classes and manage it.
Okay, so for me, I actually planned to run for an executive position this year. So last year I completed 4 courses in the summer, so I actually only technically need like 3 and 3, and I would probably pick 3 easier classes. I've completed all of my required courses. I'll probably take some summer courses. I already spend a lot of time on campus, so that'll be nothing new for me. My friends often make fun of me for Snapchatting them in Dawson Lounge at like midnight. So I already spend a lot of time on campus. I'm already used to the workload. It'll be nothing new for me.
Thank you. Now we're going to ask the audience. I'm sure there's a question too. So everyone who has a question can come line up and one by one.
Okay.
Hi guys, how you doing? Alright, I have a question for just Sam specifically. So I've heard you agree with the other 2 candidates a lot tonight, and I was just wondering, why on earth should anyone vote for you? What makes your platform different?
So, the reason I'm running, I'm not running just to throw out new ideas, throw out ideas that are unrealistic, that we can't do as a student union, do as president. I want to be able to continue what we have as a student union, be able to offer myself fully to the role as president, and be able to really focus on how we do things with the student union, change the culture that we have. This may be a buzzword as well, but just to be able to really get to know students more.
Alright, that's great, but I'm asking you what you're doing differently, because I'm pretty sure the other two candidates are doing those things too. So what are you doing that's unique for the students here at UPEI?
Okay, so the way I'm going to be offering my workload as the executive, like it's going to be a team role. It's going to be, the events I put on are not going to be put on just by the executive or just by a certain group of the student union. It's going to actually, my leadership style is going to be very different from how people have been doing before and how the executive currently is.
How do you mean? Like, how's it going to be different though? Like, you can say it's different, but I want to know details. I want to know how it's going to be different.
In what instance?
I just want you to explain to me, what do you mean by it's going to be different?
Okay, so how events are currently produced and how events are currently acted, it's like a top-down role on how things are dictated. Now, I want to be able to have different sessions from all over the student body and all over like counselors and different volunteers and clubs, and be able to help them foster how events are created and how things are run throughout the studio. I know I'm Trey on the PP student life in my example, but I hope that answers the question.
I'll do. Thanks very much, man.
Thank you. If you want to direct questions to any of the candidates, please feel free.
So my question to the presidential candidates is what are you going to do about the wave? To anyone like myself who enjoys looking at finances, you'll know that this place is deeply in the hole at the moment. So I want to know, what are you going to do to fix the wave?
Well, I actually met with the committee that met with the designers this week, and we floated around a lot of ideas. Really, my basic plan is to ensure whatever we do with the wave allows us to transition from something that's open at 11 a.m. to something that's open in the middle of the afternoon to something that's open in the evening to something that operates at wet dries. So my personal opinion is something that's probably like a little bit of a pub, a little bit of kettle black. Like if you go into the coffee houses downtown, you see students. It's basically a UPI campus, especially when we're closed for a storm. So I'm kind of thinking that type of thing. And if we did do that, it would also probably mean consolidating businesses, because at that point Mickey's isn't feasible if we're also offering coffee and lattes in here. Yeah.
Okay, this has been a question for a few years now, and kudos to Nathan Hood, who accomplished the new, what do we call it, the Student Union Refresh. So this place is going to get renovated during the summer, and I strongly believe after that, the wave's going to be more accessible for everyone and more welcoming to all the students. It's going to be more like a cafe kind of look, and hopefully that would save the wave. And other than that, if we still have troubles, we could look into the details of how we could improve it, because expending the hours would not help us a lot, because we've done that in the past. So if you know, we start the wave slightly later as semester starts. So that, oh yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright, so I'm happy that we have been getting the funding, we haven't figured out the funding for to renovate the wave. Now myself, if I'm in the role, then I'm going to, as executives have previously, look at the audits of the wave, see what, where we can cut, where we can add it finance-wise. Like you said, your question is primarily financial reason. The wave does lose money every year, but I want to see what we can do to either mitigate our losses or create it as a flourishing environment for students and as well for financial gain. Myself, now, I have been a manager at a restaurant before. I've also run my own business. Now, I hope that that experience will give me some kind of leeway in how we operate, and renovating the wave and changing the culture around it, changing like just in general just a full rework and be able to look at what we can do with it. Do a follow-up?
Yeah, I do have a follow-up here. You know, there's a lot about this renovation that's going on this summer, yet there's not a lot known about what exactly is getting done. You know, in terms of that, my question for next year is, do you think we can make the wave profitable next year, or you know, what are your strategies towards that?
I think not next year. I don't think it's going to be profitable next year. That's a tough game now. Myself, it's just a long-term thing that we need to look at. To my knowledge, the refresh money that was in Cameron, I'm not sure Nathan was, is that known to the public, like how the plan is operating? Not yet. No. So anyway, in that case, once I'm in the role, I'll be able to take a look. I can't guarantee you anything right now, obviously.
Okay, so I think next year it is achievable if we consolidate businesses. If people, can students see our financial reports from month to month? Yeah, okay, I thought so. So if you look, Clayton has actually done a fabulous job of cutting expenses, making our losses smaller and smaller all the time. Like if you look at our revenue has fallen, yet we're losing like a ton less money. Mickey's Place was profitable for the first half of the year despite the fact of Tim Hortons. A lot due to the efforts of Clayton. So, I think we can do it. It'll take a lot of hard work, but I think consolidating businesses and making the wave adaptable. Because right now, like I don't want a beer at 11 in the morning. And that's kind of what we're offering, but we're working in that way when we're offering like breakfast in the morning. And so I think it's achievable. Yeah.
I would like to point out real quick that the Wave has lost more money this year than it has in the last couple combined. So we're definitely not going on an uphill battle here so far.
So if Wave's going to be profitable next year, I personally think it will be. I'm not a psychic, like fortune teller or something, but I could tell you the current president and the staff, whoever worked to achieve the student union refresh, probably did some research on it, and that based off on that research, they're doing this refresh. If they didn't see any profit in what they're doing, they wouldn't have done it. So I would say they're hopefully, hope is all we got. Hopefully there will be profit.
Thank you. I think it's great that we get to have this discussion. Sam, I heard previous that your feet were held pretty close to the fire, and as an individual who hasn't quite made up their mind, and I know Sam you well, and I've gotten to know you, Justin. As a student, I haven't quite made up my mind about who I'm going to elect as president. So I think you being singled out, Sam, for your distinguishable policies was not quite just. Without specifically asking also Justin and Amit what is going to distinguish you from your opponent as well. Thank you very much.
So what would distinguish my platform from other presidential candidates is I have a 4-point platform which is all based on student needs and wants, which they brought forward to me. Inclusion being one of them, awareness being one of them, accessibility, and campus food options. Yeah, so these 4 are the main student issues on campus which we could work on, and these were all suggested by you all. So that is what makes my platform different from others.
Okay, so I said this at the beginning, my platform, anytime anyone looks at my platform, the first thing they say is, it is the responsibilities of the president, it is very achievable and doable. I haven't promised you guys anything that I don't think is achievable. There are definitely other things that I will tackle, but if I can't do it for you, I'm not going to make you promises just to win your vote.
Hi, I just have a quick question. I was just wondering what each of you thought of each other's strongest and weakest points in each of your platforms.
Strongest and weakest points in everyone's platform?
I want to know what each of you think is each other's strongest and weakest points.
Who? Velvet Cat. There you go.
So I think Justin's strongest point is his knowledge of policy within the student union, within student politics in general. I'll finish with his weakest point. Hamad, his connection with the International Student Society is just invaluable to the role. I'm not sure if we haven't ever had an international student as president before. I think that was asked on Facebook but never said. Weakest points, I believe Hamad has limited lack in, well, the same as Justin, almost policy development and different roles, as he's noted that he isn't a political science major or a student, that he just, not that we're know more about it, just that it doesn't fill that role. Justin himself, his weakest point, I'm not sure. I believe that similar to mine actually, the fact that we've both been outsiders of the student union, and I've never been elected. Justin was just elected this year. It's seen as neither have much involvement with the student union, although I've ran several times and hopefully gotten to know different people around campus. So that's what I have to say.
So I'll start with a positive as well. Hamad, like he said, he built his platform out of listening to some student needs. For Sam, he's had lots of time to make his platform, run a few times, so he's had lots of chance to talk to students. So do you want to start with your weakest? So I think Sam's is the opposite of mine in that a lot of his platform points are things that you can advocate for but might not get. So, and I think that also goes the same with Hamad's, is a lot of it is things that you can advocate for and you might win. Yeah, and we'll stop there.
Okay. So, strengths. Sam has a really good, big platform. I think it's 8 pages, right? With respect, it's pretty descriptive. Justin's platform. I love how it's helping the student union structure. It's helping the student union structure like become better. And it focuses towards the student union structure, counselors, all the executives and different student union members. Let's come to the negative part. The same positive part is the negative part for Justin, because it's focusing more towards the executives and counselors, I feel. And Sam, same thing, 8 pages.
That's everyone? Okay. This one.
This is for all three of you. I liked what you had to say about the dietary changes, but for the food, I was wondering if that might encompass any religious needs, such as kosher. If you want to elaborate on that, guys.
So, remember I told you folks about me negotiating with charcoals in the past? So those 2 needs, one of them was halal. Halal is a religious need, and the other one was vegan. So I did focus on religious need, and if concerns are brought up, I don't mind doing it again.
So that was actually a great question because it's something I hadn't thought of. I thought of like gluten-free and lactose and that. So in that matter, what I would probably do is reach out to resident services, student affairs, because I'm assuming they're going to know which students might have needs, and start there and ask them, and then reach out to the student body.
Fundamentally, if there's a population that lives on campus or they're on campus regularly, there should be kosher options, that's all I have to say. Like, there should be, and we should look into that.
Hello everybody. This question has been asked before, but I think it's most important to ask it to our potential incumbent presidents. We have a wonderfully diverse international student population here at UPEI. I want to know concrete ways that you're going to bring international student population together with our domestic student population.
As as mentioned, I'm an international student myself. I feel just having one of, I